Jeb Bush arguably put his foot in his mouth around stricter gun control after the Oregon shooting last week. In that he said, well, you know, here's his exact quote. Look, stuff happens, and the impulse is always to do something, and it's not necessarily the right thing to do. For example, Bush explained, child drowns in a pool, and the impulse is to pass a law that puts fencing around pools. Well, it may not change it. The cumulative effect of this is, in some cases, you don't solve the problem by passing a law, and you're imposing on large numbers of people burdens that make it harder for our economy to grow, make it harder for people to protect liberty. Okay. So requiring pool owners to put a fence around their pool if they have children or there are children in the neighborhood, or even just requiring them to put a fence around the pool, period, is going to hurt the economy and restrict our liberty? It seems like it would help the economy because somebody has to build that fence. Somebody has to manufacture the concrete for the fence posts. Somebody has to manufacture the steel pipes and poles for the uprights. Somebody has to manufacture the fencing itself. Somebody has to come out and install it. Somebody has to design it. Somebody, you know, this would stimulate the economy, wouldn't it? In fact, most regulations are actually economic stimulus. If you tell the car industry, you know, you got to lower your emissions. What does the car industry do? They invent catalytic converters, and companies come online to make them, and they install them in cars. Yeah, it might cost you an extra $1 on your car, or even 10 or 20 or 100 or whatever it is, but it's a stimulus to the economy. The EPA says to the Koch brothers, you know, in your refineries and your paper plants, you can't put that much poison into the air and water as you have been doing. So what do they have to do? They have to say, okay, somebody put some scrubbers on our factories, on our smokestacks. Well, somebody has to invent the scrubbers. Somebody has to design them. Someone has to design them specific to those particular factories. Somebody has to install them. Somebody has to maintain them. Those are all jobs that are created by that regulation. So regulations actually, in many cases, now there are also regulations that are passed to benefit in particular industries and particular corporations. You know, rules like, for example, done at the federal level now, the DARK Act that Republicans are proposing. They just passed the House of Representatives. They're trying to get it through the Senate now, which says that states may not require the labeling of GMO products in their state. This is in response to, you know, other states following the lead of Vermont, which as of July is going to require GMO labeling on everything in your store. And boy, are they pushing back with millions of dollars. But in any case, Jeb Bush said we shouldn't put restrictions on guns. We don't need stricter gun control because, you know, what idiot would say, hey, if a kid drowns in a pool, let's build fences around pools. Turns out that idiot was Jeb Bush. In 2000, when he was governor of Florida, he signed a law that requires pool owners to prevent unsupervised children from going into the water. I'm quoting from a piece by Aviva Shen over at Think Progress. The law specifically requires that pool owners install either fencing directly around the pool, safety covers, door alarms, or self-latching doors, or face jail time and a fine. This is Jeb Bush. Sign this law. And it probably saves some little kids' lives. If we can make pools safer, if we can make cars safer, why can't we make guns safer? I mean, we actually already have. We have guns now that will not fire. They've got an RFID chip in them, and they will not fire unless the matching RFID chip is on the person whose hand is holding the gun. You know, it's the same technology that, you know, when these newer cars, you walk up to them and just touch the door handle and the car unlocks because it recognizes your touch or because you've got the keys in your pocket and the keys are sending out a very small signal that travels through your body. You touch the car and the car goes, oh, yeah, that's my key fob. I'll unlock for you. We've got guns that do that. All guns could do that. But the NRA is fighting that like crazy. But isn't this bizarre?